Man, it feels like it's been a decade since I've posted a video. Hey guys, I'm Steve St. James, and you're watching Steve St. James Gaming. Now today is an incredible opportunity for both all of you watching at home and myself, because I was given exclusive permission to talk about some of my past experiences. You see, I once lived in what we now know as the Dark Ages, where, believe it or not, our gracious overlords weren't looking over our every move. Back then we had stuff called an economy and free will. It was really awful. I hated it. Now before we begin, some of you may be wondering why I haven't uploaded a video in nearly 8 straight months. So if you couldn't connect the dots already, I'll explain now. You see, before the purification, I spent months of my life dedicated to studying the economy that we once had. I spent so much time focused on the foolish collection of money that I forgot all about posting videos. That is, before I realized that money is worthless if it cannot stop the inevitability of death. I predicted all of this. Nobody believed me. They thought I was crazy. No supernatural species is gonna come and bring the economy to a screeching halt. Look who was right. I was. Me. Okay, so as I said, I was given the gracious opportunity to present to you some of my memories of the past in order to display our previous vastly inferior society to the world, and tell the story of the great victory that our overlords achieved when saving this dying planet. Let's begin. So here we are. Now, in order to tell the tale of our past economy, I have brought us to what was once known as the stock market. It was a marketplace where you could exchange ownership in different corporations in order to gain as much wealth as possible in the name of greed. And today we're going to be telling the story of a very interesting stock market experience that actually brought down the crash of not only the stock market, but the entire economy that we once knew. Why not begin this story at the end of another? You see, previously, this stock market did crash, causing it to completely reset and end us with 5 core corporations that are going to be the center of our adventure. Down syndrome, Antelope, Georgia, Humphrey, and Meats by Chespomanitis Burgaco 3. Now you may notice that each company not only has a name, but 3 to 4 letters alongside it. These are what were once known as tickers. These tickers are used to help investors determine the identity of the company without having to read out the entire name, and they were once vital to the stock market. So traditional tickers usually are just short abbreviations of the name, such as Down syndrome, which is abbreviated to DNSM. Others may be interpreted in different ways, such as Antelope, which has a ticker of MOO, or moo. This represents the noise that an antelope in the wild makes. You'll also notice another creative ticker with Meats by Chespomanitis Burgaco 3. You see, the reason for this ticker is that I honestly couldn't be fucked to turn a name that long into an abbreviation of 4 letters or less, which is why I chose the traditional bullshit route. So what we're examining here is stock prices, and whenever the stock market reset, every price for stock was set to the same value in order to even everything out and give every company a second chance. So in these first 5 periods, you can start to see which companies are going to show positive trends and which are going to show negative. Companies like Down syndrome and Meats by Chestnut Burgako 3 are showing very positive trends, while Antelope and Humphrey are seeming to grow at a slower pace. Georgia is doing awful. Do not invest in Georgia. And this is the point where we truly can see the unpredictability of the stock market. So Down syndrome, as we previously predicted, has failed completely. It dropped down to 1 at the start and slowly went down and down and down. Another strange anomaly appears with the company Humphrey, which is doing perfectly fine in the first few periods, but then drops to 0 and then returns with its growth. Before these periods, Antelope was not doing great. However, it did not show any signs of complete catastrophic failure. But if we look at these 5 periods, we'll see that it immediately drops down to 1 from the 20 that it was at before, and then proceeds to go far into the negatives. But the strangest occurrence happens at period 50 with this sudden spike. Now we're looking at a very zoomed in version of this graph, and this spike is unfathomably large, literally, as in the human brain cannot fathom numbers this size. If we look at the fully zoomed out version of this graph, this is what we will see. Now you can tell immediately that there are no signs that anything else once occupied this graph. It is a lone obelisk in an empty abyss. But you may be thinking to yourself, how big is this truly? Is it in the thousands, millions, trillions? No, it's not. Antelope has spiked up to 8.06e plus 67, which is a very interesting number. That number is larger than the amount of money there is on this planet. In fact, it's larger than the amount of seconds that have passed by since the dawn of the universe. It is theoretically impossible for a company to have this much success, and if anyone was invested in this company, this would be a major payday for them. However, with the Antelope company, the window for selling your stock is very small, because immediately after this, the company drops down to negative... I don't know what that number is. Give me a second. We're gonna figure this out.
1,142,051,215,165.
So the price of stock drops down to negative 1,142,051,120,21. Fuck. So the company drops down to negative 1,442,051,215,165. So, hopefully you sold it at the right time. Theoretically, stock prices can't drop down into the negatives. I kind of wasn't thinking about that when creating this. Technically, if it's in the negatives, selling this stock means you have to pay the buyer $1 trillion. Actually, 1,142,051,051,000,000. We have a new company replacing Down syndrome. We have feminism. Fellas, it's real, and it's here to make some goddamn money. So feminism has arrived. It's currently at a measly 1, but trust me, this is gonna grow into a flourishing company. But Colby, what the heck is going on? You may be asking. We're looking at 1 period. We should be looking at 5. Well, Antelope's dead. We need another company to replace Antelope. I'm kind of curious, what's going to happen in the next period? What company are we going to get? Well, that's all going to be revealed. Let's find out. Looks like Georgia's doing good, Humphrey's doing good, Meats by Chestnut Burgako 3 is doing alright. Feminism's doing pretty good. And we have a brand new company.
In fact, I have a special guest that I'm going to bring in right now to talk about this brand new company. Ladies and gentlemen,
allow me to introduce you to the one and only Fetty One. Calm down. Fetty. Yo, did Fetty come today? Is Fetty here? Fetty? Fetty?
so Fetty couldn't come. He was going to talk about his company. It's doing alright. 17, 38, 60. Pretty cool. We're going on to the next period now. Meets by Chesapeake United's Bergako 3 is back to doing its thing, rising up after it stayed kind of static for a while. Feminism kind of hit its peak and is going down now. Fetty's doing alright. So we've got new companies, 2 to be exact. So Georgia and Humphrey combined into a big conglomerate corporation known as Giamp. And it seems to be doing very well. And if I had any guess, I would say that Giamp would have some pretty strong longevity in the stock market. And then we also have Lamborghini. I think that's an actual corporation that you can invest money into. I think you can buy Lamborghini stock. So this is in no way meant to represent actual Lamborghini stock. Please don't sue me. So Lamborghini, it just keeps going from 0 to 60 over and over again. But that's fine. We're gonna let it do its thing. It's good for investors. Actually, you could literally exploit this to get infinite money, because if Lamborghini just keeps going from 0 to 60, you can buy it at 0, sell it at 60, buy it at 0, sell it at 60. It looks like everything's sort of following our predictions here, which doesn't happen too often. Meets by Chesapeake United's Bergako 3 is going up still. Feminism's slowly declining. Fetty Wap is doing alright. And Lamborghini still going from 0 to 60 over and over again. And then Giamp is still rising like the super corporation that it is. And in period 66 through 69, everything just stays the same also. However, at period 5, Giamp makes a very bold move, sending it all the way up to 500. And that move is combining with Fetty Wap to create Fetty Giamp. And then to replace Fetty Wap, we have a new corporation by the name of Tiananmen Square, which is currently at a nice stock price of $55. Alright, so now we're in period 71 to 75. And as you can see, we have Meets by Chesapeake United's Bergako 3 still rising. Feminism going all the way down to a 9, which is not looking great. We have Tiananmen Square doing great, and Fetty Wap doing right. Wait, where's Lamborghini? Alright, so it's at 0, so it should go back up to 60. Wait, 0 again? 0? It's all zeros. Alright. It's gonna go back to 60 in the next one. What the fuck is happening? Everything's 6. Everything is consistently 6. And we have Scientology now? Where's Lamborghini? What is happening? It's all still 6s. What? Why is it all 6? And now feminism's gone. Why is Beats by Dre here? That died in the last video. Okay, we're going forward even more. I don't know what's happening. We're in the next periods now, and everything seems to have returned to normal. It's literally just back to the same values they were at right before the 6s came. It's just back to normal like nothing even happened in the first place. Wait, but Beats by Dre is still here, and it's still at 6. What is going on? What the hell is happening? We have 3 normal companies, and one of them has a ticker that is literally a fucking face. Who is Marktavius? What is Marktavius? Okay, instead of there being a numerical value for their stock prices, it literally just says Marktavius over and over again. Even its ticker is Marktavius. Tickers have to be 4 letters or less. Its ticker literally cannot be Marktavius. Okay, so we've made it into the 100s now for the periods, and it's all just the same. I guess Ascension is doing okay. That's a combination between Tiananmen Square and Scientology. Marktavius is still doing its Marktavius stuff. Beats by Dre is still 6. I don't know what to do anymore. I think this video is a bust. So we're in the next 5 periods, and you can definitely see that Meats by Chespomanitis Bragaco 3 is in close competition with Fetty Womp. Fetty Womp is growing at a very slow pace, while Meats by Chespomanitis Bragaco 3 is starting to grow much quicker. In fact, it may catch up with it before it reaches 1,000. Beats by Dre is still at 6, and Marktavius seems to have created a conglomerate corporation with Ascension creating the corporation Marktavius. But that's fine. If Marktavius wants to do that, Marktavius can. In these next periods, you can see definitely what is going on. Meats by Chespomanitis Bragaco 3 is attempting to beat out Fetty Womp before it reaches 1,000, because for those of you who are new to the economy, the moment that you reach 1,000 stock price, you become the president of the country that you're a part of. And reaching that goal of 1,000 provides a lot of new economic opportunities, such as making it a law to purchase your products at an elevated price. Basically, if one of these companies reaches $1,000 as their stock price, they will have complete control over the economy and essentially get infinite money. So I've skipped ahead a few periods. We are now at periods 125 through 130. So before we get to the elephant in the room, which is whatever the fuck this is, we're gonna look at the more acceptable statistics. Statistics that make sense in the laws that this universe has provided us with. So what we're looking at is that Meats by Chespomanitis Bragaco 3 has definitely caught up with Fetty Womp. They are less than $100 away from each other, and at least in Fetty Womp's case, it is less than $100 from its goal, meaning this is going to be a very close battle. And now to the elephant in the room. Marktavius and Beats by Dre made the decision to combine with each other. This is a decision that I strongly do not support, just because I'm tired of dealing with their bullshit. But regardless, they have done the deed, and they are now Beats by Marktavius. Now you may notice that this corporation seems to be doing exceptionally well with their stock prices. However, if we look at the actual spreadsheet, you'll notice a very strange situation has occurred. Their stock price is Marktavius to the power of 6. which somehow manages to be higher than 1,000 while also still possessing no tangible quantity. I cannot and will not explain this phenomenon. It does not belong on the stock market, and I hate it with all of my heart. These two companies, Meats by Chessboard Burgako 3 and Fetty Womp, have gone on a very long journey to reach $1,000 in stock price. And it seems like Meats by Chessboard Burgako 3 is going to actually win this battle. As you can see, Fetty Womp is at 960, while Meats by Chessboard Burgako 3 is at 990. It only has to go up in $10. Another thing worth noting is that Beats by Marktavius is completely gone. Now don't get too optimistic. The company is still out there, and it still has incredibly high stock prices. Numbers, in fact, that we cannot calculate because it's a word. However, I have removed it from this graph just to simplify things for us. You see, Marktavius should not be a corporation. The company does not sell anything, and the company makes no money. It is a paradox, a mere concept that can only enter a physical state within the confines of our thoughts, and yet it is still at the top of our stock market. That is why I removed it. With that out of the way, it's time to finally pop the champagne for Meats by Chessboard Burgako 3, for it is about to win the greatest victory. Period 135. Let's go. Wait, what the hell? What is this? The chart's gone. Where is Meats by Chessboard Burgako 3? Hold up, let me check this out. Holy shit, what